Hello and welcome back to Bittersweet Tales, and today's story is how I have extremely realistic dreams. So at a young age, I always had very realistic and vivid dreams, and as amazing as that sounds, it also applies to nightmares. So not so fun, but from a young age I always had a creative mind, so that also means creative dreams, like take this for example. I woke up and I'm in a room with over 30 people, and was extremely confused about where I was. I asked around and came to the conclusion all the people here are couples. So I looked around and found my girlfriend. I asked how we got here, and apparently we signed up for a lifetime of a deal. She gets cut off and men in masks come in and have something to say. They say everyone that is participating in this game has a chance to go big or go home. You came with your partner to win these games and as a duo. If one of you dies and the other survives, the one who died will be resurrected back to continue the game. The couple who dies together will permanently stay dead. The last couple standing will have the granted power to resurrect anyone they wish back to life. I was extremely confused but very interested, and boom, lights out. I woke up in a room with a bed and toilet. The speaker turned on and said, "Welcome to the first game." The couple who is in the room with the bed has 2 minutes to use what's around to defend yourself from the couple with a knife outside your room prepared to kill you. Since I was in the room, I just assumed my girlfriend was in the other room, so I had 2 minutes to use what's around, and honestly, had no idea what to do. I was in shock. The 2 minutes were up, and the doors opened, and someone ran in. Out of instinct, I just pushed the person's hand down, and they dropped the knife out of panic. Me and the person panicked, and with fear I picked up the knife, closed my eyes, and swiped. The game ended faster than I realized. Because I was back in the room which had fewer couples. The men in masks came in and said, "Thank you for participating in the warm-up game." I was then reunited with my girlfriend and realized that we both made it, while the couple that was outside the room prepared to kill us was not. They died and they never came back. So, with that being said, we moved on to the next game. The next game, I don't really have a title for this one, nor did I have one for the first one, but the second game basically went like this. There are two couples, two of them have to get across the finish line while the other two has to stop the couple. So this is how it went. There are rules to this once, and it went like this. So to the couple who needs to cross the finish line, one of you needs to go on the surface and get across the line, while the other has to go down the sewer in a discreet, orderly fashioned way. So considering that let me give you a little bit of imagery here. We were in an open area with no one around, but there was a big mansion that was like a party going on, and there was a lot of people, and they were in on this. There was not much we could do, nor could we say. We weren't allowed to interact with the people around. If we were, we would die. So considering that there were people around and literally going through the sewer sounds super easy, I told my girlfriend to go down and I will stay on top. So as we make our way across, I run into a guy who says he needs help finding his wife. I look at my time and realize, this is pretty easy, so sure. So I help the guy and realize it starts raining. As I try helping him look around, the rain becomes harder and harder, and I realize that the rain is reaching up to my knees. Now, this should be your first thing. If it's up to my knees, how bad is it down in the sewers? Sounds pretty bad. Basically, my girlfriend died underneath the water. She drowned. And the guy who I was helping find his wife or spouse or whatever was my real enemy the whole time. Me being stupid, of course. So, he continues to have the rain climb up all the way up until eventually we end up on the roof. Him and his wife were there. He apologizes to me and tells me that he just doesn't want to die. He doesn't want him and his wife to die, and I completely understand. But then again, this is a dream, so I gotta have fun with this at this point. So I ran up across. There was an antenna there. I ripped off one of the pieces, put it up to her neck, and just in that moment, stabbed her in the stomach just to shock him enough to where I can get rid of him. And that's exactly what I did. So he ended up, how can I say this? He went up to the fluffy cloud area while I stayed, in the very not so fluffy cloud area. So after that game, things basically took a turn, but I'm not going to tell you this whole dream. The whole point of this story was to tell you how vivid my dreams can be. And this is stuff without me writing them out. This is just me based on digging in my memory. And I've had other dreams, like nightmares. Like I had my very first sleep paralysis. I think a year ago. It was an extremely crazy one. Basically, I was in my room. I felt like I was awake, and then I see this giant Among Us, for some reason, Among Us character coming into my room for some reason. I don't know why I had this nightmare. Like I said, I don't really have entire control over this. It just happens. Things that just process in my mind just turn into reality. And there was my very first sleep paralysis. Now I can entirely say that my very first sleep paralysis was based around an Among Us character. I do not know why. Do not ask me why. I don't know. It just happens. So, the whole point, not the whole point. There's not really a point to this story. It's just a really crazy fact that I can have entirely vivid dreams. And I'm pretty sure anybody can, if they just turn on their thinking cap, or I don't know, I think watch enough movies, or I guess think crazy. Not crazy, but crazy enough to have crazy dreams. Now, let me give you a different kind of dream I've had, which was a very unique one as well. Basically, I was my own avatar, I guess, Lugee, like my iconic character. And I was in a world where the world was split into 3 areas, and apparently my father owned a third of that whole thing. And I remember being at a zoo. I'm just saying based off what I remember. I was at a zoo, and I won. There was a shark who won. Okay, I'm sorry. This is just so hard. Like, I feel like no one's gonna believe me. But there was a shark who said my soul was evil, and if I could come up with $10,000, he will purify it and make me a good person, because if not, I will die. So I go to this, for some reason I go to the head zoo and say, I need 10K. They say no. 3 seconds later, a bell rings and they say, well, it looks like your father just bought this place. Here's 10K. So they give me 10K. I give it to the shark, and beam, bomb, boom, shark does his mystical powers and stuff, and then boom, I wake up. It's just crazy. I don't understand it, honestly. Very weird dreams. I wish I could explain it myself. I'm gonna go off script here for a second, but I've had a lot of reoccurring dreams. Like I remember having a certain nightmare that continued after I woke up. It was basically it wasn't based on a real thing or anything in particular. I just had a dream about, I guess, a killer being released from prison, and they are hunting people, and it kind of goes through a whole society change, that the society follows what they see, and that's exactly what happened. And then after I got scared enough to where I woke up in my dream, when I went back to sleep, I eventually continued it. Like the dream continued its own from where it left off, and did the same thing right after the second time. I pretty much went through this back and forth, kind of waking up, back reoccurring dream like 4 or 5 times, I think. Very crazy. It's very fascinating what dreams can do. How it can be something very innocent and pure, and also be very horrid and vivid. And it can also be so different compared to how realistic it could be and how fake it is. I don't know, I'm not like a scientist or anything. I'm not like a psychiatrist or anything either, so I don't know how this exactly works, but it's crazy, and honestly I wish I could explain it, because it is a very fascinating thing. I wake up and go, sometimes I'll go to sleep and then I'll go, man, I wonder what dream I'm gonna have today. because at this point it's just crazy. At one point I had a dream about my cat speaking Spanish. I don't know why. She just spoke Spanish for some reason. I went to sleep and this became a whole damn Dora the Explorer episode, and she just went, "Oh," I'm like, "Wow, my cat spoke Spanish." And then I stopped myself and said, did I really just ask why she spoke Spanish instead of asking why she didn't speak at all? I honestly don't know. Very crazy dream. But that's pretty much it for the story for today, I guess. I just wanted to go on a whole schlump about what my whole dream was. So if you guys enjoyed this bittersweet episode 2, be sure to like and subscribe for some more episodes. They're going to be coming out very weekly. So I hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. And yeah, be sure to subscribe for some more stories.